Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are going to start with basic hydraulic system. A basic hydraulic system just comprises of four main components: an hydraulic reservoir, pump, control valve, and the actuator. So let us start with the basic hydraulic system here. In a basic hydraulic system, the main component is the hydraulic reservoir. In the hydraulic reservoir, hydraulic fluid is stored. So the storage of a fluid is done by the hydraulic fluid. Here, after the storage, it has to supply the fluid to the various components. So here the fluid is going into a hydraulic pump. Okay, so this is a pump. Here the pump, it's a gear type pump which is being trying to shown here. You can see that this one is trying to rotate in this direction, this one is trying to rotate in this direction. So the fluid which will come over here will get compressed and the pressure will increase. That is the function of the pump, to increase the pressure of the hydraulic fluid which is coming into the system. Again, I'm telling you, this is only the basic hydraulic system. We are not going to talk about the filters or any other components. Only what components are required for the system to operate. After the pump, there is a very important component called as the control valve. This control valve is the main valve which will decide the direction in which the control surface will go. For example, let us say that my wing has got an airfoil, that is aileron in the back. Whether this aileron will go up or down will be decided by this control valve. How it will do it? It will have four connections. So from here, the fluid is coming under the pressure. So here you can see that the fluid is going into a actuating cylinder. This component here is called as a actuating cylinder. When the fluid under the pressure comes on one side of the actuating cylinder, it pushes the piston into the opposite side like this. As the piston is moved from here, the fluid which is present from here returns to the control valve. So what is the function of actuator? It will operate the control surface. This is connected to your aileron. So when this is being pulled inside or when it is being pushed outside, the control surface will either move up or down. It can also be connected to other important components like landing gear, elevator. So everything can be controlled by hydraulic system. So here what is happening? The high pressure hydraulic fluid is coming into the right side of an actuating cylinder. High pressure is built up over here. It is causing the piston to move in this direction. As the piston is moving, this shaft which is connected over here is also moving. This shaft is connected to the control surface. So the control surface will also move. The fluid which is present over here will enter into the control valve again. And from here it will enter into the return line and the return line will take it back to the reservoir. So it's a closed system. What do you mean by closed system? Where the cycle is being completed. So hydraulic fluid which starts from the reservoir goes into the pump, it is pressurized. High pressure fluid goes into the control valve which decides the direction in which the component has to move. Whether it can go in this side or this side will be decided by the control valve. And how is the control valve operated? By the pilot. Pilot will operate this control valve and he will decide in which direction the fluid has to go. So whenever it is moved, the fluid will go into one side of the actuating cylinder. In this picture, the fluid is going into the pressure line in this side. So here the pressure is created and moves on. Return line is, you have to remember that what is the pressure at the return line? Return line pressure is always 0 pounds per square inch, that is 0 psi. Whereas the pressure line pressure is actually 3000 or it can be any other value. But we are just going with 3000 because it's a standard value. In examination, you cannot mark 3000. It is just for understanding purpose. But you can mark this value because on the written line, there is no pressure. This is the written line. Written line has got no pressure. That is just 0 psi. So again, just we'll quickly revise it. The first component of an hydraulic system is the hydraulic reservoir. This reservoir will store the fluid on fluid. Okay. Then what it will do is it will pass the fluid into a pump. Pump which is rotating. It can be any type from the different types of the pump that we are going to study in the later on session. Here we have taken an example of a gear type pump. In a gear type pump, two gears are rotating in the opposite direction. One is rotating in the anti-clockwise, another one is rotating in the clockwise direction. The fluid which is coming over here becomes trapped in the teeth and from here it goes outside. So this will give me a high pressure fluid at the outlet. This high pressure fluid enters the control valve where it has been decided see which side of the actuating cylinder this fluid will go. Who will decide this? The pilot will decide it. For example, if he wants to take the landing gear up, he may select this line. But if you want to take the landing gear down, he will select this line. Based on whatever selection the pilot does, the control valve, also known as a selector valve, allows the fluid to enter the actuating cylinder. This is your main muscle power. Okay. The fluid which is coming over here will cause the piston to move, and as the piston is moving, there is a rod connected to the piston. This rod will operate the control surface which can operate your landing. The pressure, the fluid which is present over here, it has to go somewhere, otherwise this system will not operate. Since the hydraulic fluid is incompressible, there should be a return back to passes to the control. That's it, beta. This is a basic hydraulic system. Now I'm telling you, this is not a safe system. That is, if any one of the components fails over here, the system will stop work. So to make it safe, we insert some other components, like we'll insert filter, accumulator, okay, then hand pumps. We put so many other components to make the system safe. So we'll do that in the next class. See you, beta. Bye. Take care.